ZappyHire is a platform which automates the hiring for the business, end-to-end hiring, starting from the screening till the onboarding part. So I would like to bring you the attention, the three value propositions we did for our customer for last 2 years, which is one is the cost reduction and the quality improvement and improvement in the candidate experience. I will explain how we did this and bring this value proposition to our clients. When we look at the hiring, before we start the ZappyHire, we see that there is a less adoption of the technology when it comes to hiring, especially for the SME segment. That is, we first put an opportunity and work on this product called ZappyHire. So when we look at, there are two personas we identified. One is the candidate, and the second one is a talent acquisition specialist. So from a candidate perspective, we automate starting from job application till they accept the offer. Every touch point of the candidates we automate through our conversational AI with the respective counterpart in the business. From a talent acquisition perspective, posting the job and sorting the right candidate from the large corpus of the resumes and ranking, and then creating the offer letter, scheduling, rescheduling, and onboard them. Till this process, we automate through our platform. So we have seen a very exponential growth during the last 6 months. We have processed around 1 million resumes, and there are 80,000 plus conversations happening through our recruitment chatbot. And around 4,000 candidates have been hired through ZappyHire for last 1 year alone. We work with around 25 plus customers, which spread across India, Southeast Asia, and Europe. So this is how the ZappyHire entire process works. Mr. Deepu will take you through this process and will explain the product in detail.
Okay, thank you, Jyothis. Thank you, Jyothis. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So as Jyothis mentioned, to take it from there, we have looked at ZappyHire as a product from a very simple perspective. The very simple perspective is from a recruiter's perspective, from a leader's perspective, and from a candidate's perspective. So these are the three stakeholders that you can think about, right? So when you think about all these three perspectives, it's very simple, right? I mean, we have to look at each and every problem or each and every activity that these stakeholders do. And we did two things. We automated that process and we added intelligence to that each process. So that is what ZappyHire does. When you look at recruitment, it starts with, okay, I have a requisition to be filled. So you create a requisition, you publish it to LinkedIn, Facebook, multiple job boards, and so on and so forth. So it's a manual process. Then you get a lot of resumes in hand. The HR or the recruiter would look at the resume, read through the resume, and see who is good. Again, a manual process. And then you have to contact the candidate, pick up the phone, drop an email, wait for the response. If he picks up, well and good, or else you again retry. So if you look at it, all these activities are heavily manual in nature, heavily painstaking, time consuming, and you don't have a result which is, I wouldn't say 100% accurate always. There is always a human bias. Unless the recruiter is heavily experienced and is willing to work round the clock, then you get the best productivity. So what ZappyHire does is automate even suggesting what should be the job description, where it should be published. It even goes to the extent of publishing the job into LinkedIn, Facebook, multiple job boards, automatically create and manage career pages, and so on and so forth. It even, when a resume comes in just a few seconds, it reads through the resume, understands what is in the resume, and find which is the best matching job for that candidate, or for that particular job, who is the best matching candidate, vice versa. When you have to contact the candidate, it's a multilingual chatbot. So with the multilingual chatbot, we have opened the horizon of expanding ZappyHire to multiple geographies with a seamless language barrier. Nothing is there. Even for that matter, the automatic interview scheduling. Even when you're looking the candidate for the first time, we have this thing called an AI video interview, which would automatically understand what is the language proficiency of the candidate, what is the cultural match, what is the personality trait match for that particular job. Jyothis, can you move to the next slide? Yeah, with all these things, what ZappyHire does is it collates a lot of data points about a candidate. So ultimately, what is recruitment? You get a candidate, you get a lot of data points about the candidate, and a hiring manager or an interviewer takes a decision with the available information. So what ZappyHire does is make that informed decision more data-driven, more recommendation-driven. That is what ZappyHire does. So you look at it, rather than just a resume and few interview notes, you get a 360-degree view of the candidate, including the language proficiency, personality, technical assessment. We are integrated with multiple leading technical assessment partners across the globe. So everything comes into one system ultimately. So that data-driven decision is one of the key aspects of ZappyHire. Jyothis?
So we work with various type of organizations, starting from the large banks to the small startups. Recently, we acquired a customer from Southeast Asia who got a funding around 50 million from Sequoia Capital. We work with the Kerala Startup Mission as well. We recently created a talent marketplace where one side we have seen around 275 startups, and other side we have seen around 15,000 plus candidates or talents. And using our system, there is a matchmaking process that's been done. I think that there is a similar opportunity with the Taiwan team as well, because you guys have just mentioned about the talent matching opportunity, where you can use this ZappyHire to match these talents and to find out the right talent for your startups or the companies, right? So this is what we have created the impact in terms of the different adoptions metrics. If you look at the number of reduction in the total reduction would we bring on table is around 600K plus reduction in the recruitment cost, and most of the companies has been able to reduce 65% of their time to hire. That's a very critical number, because if you look at it, as per our research, we see that a good talent will keep only around 12 days in the market. So if you just go with the traditional way of attracting talents or acquiring talents, probably you lose the best talents from the market, right? So you should have that automation to make sure that you attract the right talent. At the same time, you should be able to give the right candidate experience so that it boosts your branding as well. So I'll just explain how we work in terms of the revenue part. The good thing about the ZappyHire is you can actually look at the ZappyHire as a platform. Also, you can look at the ZappyHire as a features. So if you imagine, if you're already using any sort of systems and you wanted ZappyHire to be, power your some of your job resume parsing or candidate matching or recruitment chat mode, or our robotic interview, which is actually automatically understand the personality trait and language trait, that's also possible. So most of the features we have is available as an API as well. So otherwise, on the as a SaaS platform, you have a subscription cost, and the video interviews and assessments you can just pay as you use. So we put it in very simple terms. So we give a lot of importance about the data. So since we work with a lot of banks in India, there's a lot of compliance being imposed by the Reserve Bank of India. So we be compliant about all the data security plans. And apart from that, we get audited in every quarter by PwC and BDO in terms of security, in terms of data protection, in terms of the infrastructure. So all of the data which is being uploaded to the ZappyHire is being already taken care of the data security. Not only the storage of the data, but when we transfer the data through the different chat or different mediums or the systems, it is fully integrated and secured. And what we see is most of the companies are moving to the automation part of the system, because if you look at around only 50% of the companies all over the world acquired AI to automate their hiring. So we see a lot of opportunity to bring automation in the hiring process. It is ultimately the talents is the key factor of in the success of any companies. Thank you.